Have you ever wanted to be tiny in a handcrafted toy world? How do you feel about solving puzzles, finding secret areas, and obtaining new abilities? What about saving the princess? Well, in Supraworld, you'll be able to do all of that and more. The game's Steam page went live last week, and it gives us a pretty big insight into the game's story and its overall main focus. There are also some new screenshots to look at, but it could still be a while before we get the first official trailer. Here's everything you need to know about the game. You play as an apprentice of the Solvers Guild. Solvers are a pretty important part of this world because puzzle storms are brewing all over the place, making people's lives harder, causing chaos. You catch my drift. In order to graduate, you'll have to pass your Solvers exam by saving the princess from the nearby castle. Much like the game's predecessor, Supraland, this is a first-person puzzle Metroidvania. The world is entirely interconnected, and you'll be able to access new areas as you unlock special upgrades and abilities. And they're not kidding when they say the world is filled to the brim with secret areas for you to find. The first game had a ton of treasure chests hiding around the map, and it was an absolute blast to search for them all. This time around, Supraworld will be using these plastic eggs instead. The Steam description goes on to say, instead of invisible walls blocking you everywhere, the geometry you see is exactly what you get and what you can use for your traversal. There is pretty much no useless decoration in the game. Everything you see is there for a specific reason. Now on to possibly the most exciting and unexpected feature in the game, detective cases. A new addition to the Supraverse, you'll have to put on your trench coat and get out your magnifying glass to do some detective work. Apparently, there will be 5 different murders, and players will have complete freedom to lock up whoever they think the culprit is. So this game's got exploring, snooping, and solving puzzles. Supraworld will also have combat, but it will be a much smaller part of the game than it was previously. Combat will also sometimes be puzzle heavy. Very curious to see how this plays out. And finally, Supraworld trusts you to be clever and will not hold your hand. It's specifically stated that the target audience is experienced players who are tired of the same old generic adventure games and are looking for something that challenges and surprises them in new ways. That is everything from the game's Steam page. I also want to point out some things I noticed from these new screenshots before I wrap this up. First, there's this interestingly dressed shopkeeper trying to sell us maybe a computer chip device. Next is this overhead view of a small town. Right in the center there with the light bulb logo is what I'm guessing must be the Solvers Guild headquarters. This is our yellow companion, looking absolutely perplexed. Maybe we just busted them out of jail? The player character is also holding this game's version of Supraland's MacGuffin. We still have no idea about what types of powers we'll have, so its purpose remains a mystery. Another bird's eye view of a different area. This one has some cardboard cutout enemies guarding a locked door. There's also a yellow egg that's already been opened, and it looks like it was hidden inside a chocolate egg. And then a glowing orb floating atop an exit sign and a comb. Very interested to see what all is going on here. This next area could be nearby since it's also made of some wooden blocks and a few wads of gum. This wall of fire seems to be blocking off an important area, and this simple button puzzle could be the way past it. Here's a much better look at 2 different types of cardboard enemies and possibly the main antagonist in the game. They look similar to our yellow friend, but instead are wearing a purple suit, and we can't see if there's any logo on their chest. But whoever they are, they do seem to be friends with these cutouts, or at least they're not bothered by them. Onto this very dark area with playing card platforms. A couple interesting things. There's another exit sign all the way to the left, so maybe this is part of our assignment to rescue the princess, or maybe the tutorial portion of the game. Our weapon or MacGuffin here also has green attachments now instead of the red and yellow ones we saw before. And that can be seen much better in this last image from the Steam page. Our companion is balancing precariously above some portion of what I believe is the town from earlier, somewhere just above the clouds. Now there's one last image that was just posted to the Supa Games Twitter page, which could contain the most interesting detail so far. It shows a forested area with an NPC sitting on a ledge and observing their surroundings. But down below is the yellow-suited character waving to a shocked blue character. Supra Games confirmed that these new half-red, half-blue people are erasers, or at least inspired by them. And this makes me wonder if the red and blue people from Supraland are also erasers. If that's true, then it must mean that a new race of eraser people have been born to red and blue parents, but not everyone knows about it, obviously. That's just a wild theory though, who knows? And that's all I've got today. It's very exciting to finally see some big updates for this one, and I'm eagerly awaiting seeing Supraworld's first trailer whenever it's ready. In the meantime though, why not check these out?